Here's an interesting thing. We're logged into Garmin CONNECT, and under activity tracking, I can see that it was 7 hours ago that I did this 2-mile run with the dog. If I come down here to reports, and so you can see how much I've been running over the last 4 weeks, how many times. November 21st, 3, the 28th, 2, 3, and 3. So I'm planning on 3 activities a week, 33 minutes apiece. That puts me at 2.4 hours per week, which is what the Copenhagen City Heart Study says is optimal for living a long time. From 1 hour to 2.4 hours a week divided into 3 activities. So that's what I'm doing here. And if we look at training status, you see my VO2 max is at 39. But this is the most fascinating part. I wasn't even doing anything, and it gave me a 1-week base building, and then it starts upping where I should be in terms of training load. It's normally not considered that this VENU 2 Plus does training loads, and the watch doesn't report them. But in Garmin CONNECT, you can get the training load, as you can see here. And today, when I finished running, it was down here for hours. And then after it thinks a while, it says, oh, well, you're actually up here. So it takes a while for it to calculate this. And it puts me in the maintaining category. Now, I'm not trying to break any records. I actually want to keep my heart rate below 118, in the 118 range, and let this fall where it may. But it's happening to fall in the what they call the optimal range. Now, here's an interesting thing. If you click on here and it says balanced, there is this dotted line area here and here and here that's considered the optimal range. And apparently, this is a 30-day window here that it calculates it looking back from today to the previous 30 days. So if we go back, it goes back 1 day at a time. You see yesterday and the previous 30 days, I'm just barely in the high aerobic. The reason this is anaerobic is because there's a hill that I can't get a low heart rate on even walking up. But as we go back in time, I know we're only going a day at a time, but it's looking back from that day. You can see here that I haven't reached the high aerobic. And I wasn't even trying to reach the high aerobic. I didn't want to reach the high aerobic. I wanted to do more of a Phil Maffetone-like approach. So November 12th to December 10 and all previous times, there's a huge gap between where I was in the high aerobic and the optimal range. So as we move forward, this is a day at a time, but apparently looking back on the previous 30 days up to today, I'm above average in this, above the middle anyway, in this optimal range. And I'm not trying to get there. I'm happy with staying in low aerobic as long as I can. And I assert that as I develop, it's going to automatically, which seems like it might be happening now, automatically evolve into working in this high aerobic range. I found that fascinating, that this takes a day or more to locate what I just did today on this graph. So this is the 12th, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is the 17th right here. And this hours after I had run, it showed a dot, but it was not in the green. It was down here. So it takes a while. What I think is happening is that it's looking at your recovery. And there is this acronym that they use, ELO, EPOC, and it considers what your body is doing after the stress has been applied to your body. And it takes a while for it to look at that amount of stress, and then it makes a determination what your acute training load is based on that response that you have after you run.